Imagine being denied for apartments, credit cards, loans, and even basic financial opportunities because of mistakes you made years ago. Then one day, you stumble across a new way to start over. A fresh profile, a clean slate, 9 numbers. And just like that, you're introduced to CPNs. CPN stands for Credit Privacy Number, Credit Profile Number, or Secondary Credit Number. People often describe them as a second chance, a way to leave old financial mistakes in the past and rebuild your future. So, when people hear about something that promises a fresh start, it's easy to see why they become interested. Many love to point out the Privacy Act of 1974 when discussing personal privacy and Social Security numbers. The CPN landscape has changed significantly over the years. Many of the methods people relied on in the past are now outdated, while newer strategies and information have become far more important. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of misinformation being spread, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Tri-merge reporting, public records, and other factors are often mentioned when discussing how a CPN profile may be viewed by lenders and credit systems. Let's get into actually creating a CPN number. Now, the older guides would suggest that you use prefixes issued by the specific state you're in to start your CPN. In my experience, these prefixes are usually already taken. You can always use a number that isn't from your original state as long as it isn't issued. When I say issued, I mean as long as it hasn't been given to someone else or is not in line to be given to someone else. So, to keep it simple, I'll give you a list of CPN number prefixes, or you can just Google CPN number state prefixes. Please keep in mind, if you have any siblings, a girlfriend, or whoever in the same state, and for whatever reason you saw their SSN and then yours, you'll notice it's only a small difference in the numbers, so it'll be nothing to tweak numbers a bit for your CP. Also, I see a lot of old CPN methods that tell you to go to SSN Validator and other websites that aren't even available anymore. If you see a method with SSN Validator, then it's old sauce, and the person who gave it to you probably doesn't even have a CP. Again, it's all about how you use your CPN. If you plan on building a CPN number just to get a loan, credit card, or the perks of good credit, just to not pay it back, then that's clear as day fraud. We don't commend fraud in any way. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin creating your CPN, assuming you have your number ready after looking at the state prefixes and using a system to validate your number. To start, you need your CPN name, address, fresh email, and fresh phone number ready. An email that's not linked to you personally in any way. Same with the phone number. It's recommended that you use a prepaid number, but you can honestly use Google Voice or text now for the beginning process. For the address, you can go old school and search places in your area or wherever using Zillow. Now you have a new address. You need to tri-merge your CP info, which fuses your profile information that should be in your notes with the credit bureau's information. This process requires you to apply to 3 websites with the information of your CP, Chase, Capital One, and Lightstream. You can use the basic format on the screen when applying with your CPN. You only have to apply to those 3 websites using your CP information. The best part about this is you're not looking or hoping to get approved for any of these, so this should be a quick process for the most part. It's funny. For my first time, I wanted my CPN to work so bad that I applied for 6. Please don't do this when creating your number. You only need to apply for 3. You'll be adding more hard inquiries than you need to. After you apply to the 3 sites using your CP information, you should be able to create a Credit Karma account. It's mandatory that you apply on all 3 websites using the exact same information with nothing different. I like to wait at least 36 hours before creating my Credit Karma account, but most people create it within 24. I do want to touch on a few myths. After you create your Credit Karma login for a primary, I would recommend you create a Gauss account. Gauss is available on Apple and Android. A lot of people say to go get Self or Kickoff. These are good to have on your personal credit report, but they won't approve a blank CPN off-rip. Gauss is a quicker and easier sign-up. It's a good primary, but you still want to add Tradelines. That's what's going to take your score to the next level. Now, everyone has a different reason for wanting a CP. Some people just need to get into a new apartment with less hassle. Some people want a car or even jewelry. It's all possible, but it's about how much you put into your CPN and your determination. Now, if you're only looking for an apartment, you only need one trade line. For a car, you need at least 2 to 3. For cheap trade lines, contact me on Telegram. People look at a 700 or 800 credit score and assume it takes years to build. What most don't realize is that a blank credit profile can react very differently than a damaged one. When you add a few strong trade lines to a completely blank file, the score can grow much faster than most people expect. That's why so many people become fascinated with CPNs and the idea of starting over with a clean slate. The problem is, real credit doesn't work the same when you already have late payments, collections, charge-offs, or a stack of hard inquiries dragging you down. In those situations, adding trade lines may help, but they usually won't have the same dramatic impact. When it comes to getting approved for a vehicle, many people focus only on the credit score and forget there's another side to the equation. An underwriter isn't just looking at the number on the screen. They're looking at the entire picture. Maybe you had a rough patch in life and your credit took a hit. Sometimes they'll overlook that and still give you a chance. Other times, they're asking a different question. Can this person realistically afford this payment every month? A lot of dealerships now use automated systems and AI-assisted reviews, but your application still matters. Your income, rent, insurance costs, existing debt, and monthly obligations all play a role. Ironically, being completely honest about having a lot of monthly expenses can sometimes raise concerns because the lender starts wondering how much room is left in your budget for another payment. At the end of the day, lenders want stability. They love seeing higher income, lower debt, and fewer financial obligations. From their perspective, the ideal customer is someone whose biggest monthly responsibility is the vehicle they're financing. I hope you got something out of this video. Please hit subscribe. I've got plenty more breakdowns, credit plays, and fraud prevention content on the way. Telegram channel in the description. See you in the next video.